In a quaint village nestled among green hills, there once existed a common grazing ground where every villager could freely let their livestock roam and graze. It was a shared resource, collectively owned and cherished by all. However, as the village prospered and the number of livestock increased, a dilemma emerged. Some villagers, driven by the desire to maximize their own gain, began to exploit the pasture land beyond its sustainable capacity. They grazed their animals relentlessly, heedless of the long term consequences. Meanwhile, others, perhaps more conscientious, exercised restraint, hoping to preserve the pasture for future generations. But sadly, their efforts were in vain. The once verdant pasture land gradually deteriorated under the weight of overexploitation. The grass withered, the soil eroded, and the ecosystem collapsed. What was once a vibrant symbol of communal harmony had succumbed to the tragedy of commons. The tragedy of commons is a widely discussed economic concept with implications in various fields, such as economics, ecology, and other sciences. It illustrates how individuals, when given unrestricted access to a finite and valuable resource like pasture, tend to overuse it, ultimately depleting it. Even if some individuals practice voluntary restraint, others exploit the resource without hesitation, leading to detrimental outcomes for all. This economic theory was first proposed by British writer William Foster Lloyd in 1833. In 1968, ecologist Garrett Hardin further popularized the concept with his article titled Tragedy of the Commons. It has since become one of the most cited works in environmental science, political science, ecology, and economics. The theory sheds light on the management of commons, which are resources traditionally used by communities such as forests, ponds, pasture lands. The tragedy of commons can be observed in various past and present situations. One such example is the extinction of the dodo bird, driven by overhunting. The dodo, native to a few small islands, became a convenient source of meat for sailors traveling the southern Indian Ocean. Despite its limited habitat and slow reproductive rate, the dodo was hunted to extinction less than a century after its discovery in 1598 by Dutch sailors. Few other examples of tragedy of commons are overfishing, climate change, antibiotic resistance. In contrast to the tragedy of commons, there is the concept of comedy of commons, introduced by Carol M. Rose. The concept of comedy of commons suggests that certain resources benefit from increased utilization. Examples include commercial ventures and group recreational activities, where heightened usage contributes to the overall value of the resource. Unlike the tragedy of commons, such resources may suffer from underinvestment rather than overuse.